Hello viewers, we're going to learn about type 1 diabetes, its symptoms, diagnosis and treatments. What is type 1 diabetes? Type 1 diabetes is a chronic condition that usually starts in childhood but can also occur in adults. In type 1 diabetes, the pancreas produces very little insulin. Insulin helps cells in the body convert sugar into energy. When the pancreas cannot make enough insulin, sugar starts to build up in the blood, causing life-threatening complications. Individuals with type 1 diabetes must take some form of insulin for the rest of their lives and they do not have any other option. What is the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes? Type 1 diabetes usually starts in childhood or young adulthood, whereas type 2 diabetes usually starts in adulthood. In patients with type 1 diabetes, the body's immune system attacks and destroys the pancreatic cells that produces insulin. In patients with type 2 diabetes, the pancreas is not attacked and usually produces insulin. However, patients with type 2 diabetes, for numerous reasons, cannot use the available insulin effectively. Patient with type 2 diabetes can have the same symptoms as patient with type 1 diabetes, but patient with type 1 diabetes usually have symptoms occur more rapidly. Type 1 diabetes cannot be prevented, but type 2 diabetes can be prevented or delayed with a healthy lifestyle. What causes type 1 diabetes? When the body's immune system destroys beta cells in part of the pancreas, type 1 diabetes develops. Beta cells in the pancreas produces insulin. Researchers are not sure why a person's immune system attacks its own insulin-producing cells. However, researchers suspect that genetic susceptibility and environmental factors raise the risk for developing type 1 diabetes. Scientists have identified genes and gene regions that raise the risk of developing type 1 diabetes, but they are not only the factors that cause the disease. Researchers suggest that environmental triggers such as a viral infection or perhaps dietary or pregnancy-related factors may also play a role in developing type 1 diabetes. Who gets type 1 diabetes? Although type 1 diabetes can develop at any age, about 2/3 of new cases are diagnosed in individuals under the age of 19. Researchers have noted two peak times for development of type 1 diabetes. The first is in early childhood and the second occurs at puberty. Type 1 diabetes affects males and females equally. A family history of type 1 diabetes also increases one's risk for developing type 1 diabetes. Now, let's learn about some symptoms of diabetes. First one is unusual thirst symptoms. This is a very common symptom of type 1 diabetes. This condition causes the kidneys to remove excess sugar in the blood by getting rid of more water. The water is removed through urinating, causing dehydration, and dehydration causes you to drink more water. Next symptom is weight loss. Patients with type 1 diabetes develop unintentional weight loss and an increase in appetite because blood sugar levels remain high and the body metabolizes fat for energy. Disrupted glucose metabolism also causes patients to feel a lack of energy and drowsy for extended periods. Excess urination also causes weight loss because many calories are leaving the body in urine. One more symptom is skin problems. The disruption in glucose metabolism in patients with type 1 diabetes causes skin changes. Type 1 diabetics are at a higher risk of bacterial infections and fungal infections. Poor blood circulation in the skin may also occur. Let's see some other dangerous signs and symptoms. Patients with untreated type 1 diabetes can experience serious symptoms such as blurry vision, numbness or tingling in the feet, loss of consciousness, fatigue, fruity breath, dry mouth and diabetic coma. In contrast to high sugars in the blood, occasionally patients with type 1 diabetes can get low blood sugars called hypoglycemia when their blood sugar level falls suddenly. The last symptom of type 1 diabetes is ketoacidosis. The problem with type 1 diabetes is that the person's cells are deprived of the sugar they need for energy. Without the insulin produced by the pancreas, sugar has difficulty entering the body's cells. Consequently, the body cells start burning fat for energy, which causes ketones to build up in the blood. These acids can change the person's blood pH level and can trigger a life-threatening coma. This is termed as diabetic ketoacidosis. Diabetic ketoacidosis is a medical emergency that needs to be treated quickly, usually in a hospital setting. Symptoms of diabetic ketoacidosis include the following: flushed, hot, dry skin, blurred vision, feeling thirsty and excess urination, drowsiness, rapid, deep breathing, fruity breath odor, loss of appetite, belly pain and vomiting, and confusion. The last symptom of type 1 diabetes in our video is high blood pressure. Type 1 diabetes damages arteries and makes them susceptible to hardening, which can lead to high blood pressure and other heart and circulation problems. Unfortunately, undiagnosed or prolonged high blood sugar levels can result in damage to organ systems in the body over time. Patients with type 1 diabetes have a high risk of vision problems, heart disease, stroke, kidney failure, gum disease, tooth loss, and nerve damage, especially in the hands and feet. Other organs may also get damaged. Let's learn about type 1 diabetes diagnosis and treatments. Diagnosis. Simple blood tests can indicate the presence of abnormal sugar levels in the blood. If a person has any symptoms of diabetes, a fasting blood sugar test or even a random blood sugar test is usually the first step in diagnosis. A hemoglobin A1C test can reveal average blood sugar levels for the past 2 to 3 months. In most cases, these sets are repeated on at least 2 separate days. Other tests used are the glucose tolerance test or testing for specific antibodies in the blood. Now, let's learn about 6 different treatments for type 1 diabetes. First one is monitoring blood sugar levels treatment. For patients with diabetes, complications that can damage organs can be prevented or reduced by regulating their blood sugar level. This is done by pricking the finger and putting a drop of blood on a test strip. The strip is then placed in a monitor that reads the glucose level. Close monitoring of glucose levels allows the individual to regulate their blood sugar by either medication if the sugar is high or taking in sugar if the level is low. If a person with diabetes is able to keep blood sugar levels in or near the normal range, they will decrease the likelihood of developing complications and have more energy and fewer problems related to diabetes. The second treatment is continuous glucose monitoring treatment. Another device that measures glucose is termed as continuous glucose monitoring system. This system consists of tiny sensor under the skin to check the blood sugar levels. It sends the information to a cell phone sized device that record an average glucose value every 5 minutes for about 72 hours. CGM is now accepted for long-term use in some patients with models that turn off insulin infusion when sugars start to drop. The third treatment is insulin shots treatment. Every person with type 1 diabetes needs to take insulin to help their body process sugar in the blood. Most people with type 1 diabetes take insulin in the injectable form and require several shots per day. There are different types of insulin available, which is rapid acting insulin or regular or short acting insulin and long acting insulin and intermediate acting insulin. You and your doctor can adjust your insulin shots based on results of blood sugar testing. As previously stated, the goal is to keep sugar levels in the blood within normal range as often as possible. Insulin can be injected using a needle and syringe, a cartridge system, or a pre-filled pen system. Inhaled insulin, insulin pumps, and a quick-acting insulin device can also be used. If injecting insulin into your body, the best place is the abdomen, but the arms, thighs, and buttocks are also effective. The fourth available treatment is insulin pump treatment. Although many people administer insulin through several shots per day, some people may be able to utilize an insulin pump. This pump delivers insulin around the clock by pushing insulin through a thin tube inserted into a person's skin. The insulin pump can be programmed to deliver exact amounts of insulin in a continuous dose as well as deliver extra doses certain times, typically when eating. People with diabetes are encouraged to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this insulin delivery system with their doctor. The fifth treatment available is artificial pancreas. Researchers are attempting to develop an artificial pancreas. This device is a combination of an insulin pump and a continuous glucose monitoring system controlled by a computer program. The goal for the system is to release insulin in response to blood sugar levels and to reduce the release of insulin if the blood sugar level drops. The goal is to have a device that mimics the function of a normal pancreas. Some early trials of experimental devices suggest this device may be available in the future. The last treatment option in our today's topic is pancreatic cell transplant. Some people with diabetes fail insulin therapy and may have reactions to the insulin that is injected. The procedure is a transfer of healthy insulin-producing cells from a donor into the pancreas of the patient with type 1 diabetes. Although there are benefits to this procedure, there are also drawbacks, including medications with serious side effects that must be used to prevent rejection of the donor cells and the probability that the transplanted cells may only function for a few years. Now, let us see the side effects of insulin and also how it impacts our daily life. What does insulin do? Insulin is a hormone from the pancreas that allows sugar to enter the cells. Insulin also lowers the amount of sugar in the bloodstream. Without insulin, sugar is unable to enter the cells. This means that cells that make up muscles and other tissues will not be able to receive their main source of energy. Patient with type 1 diabetes will have a buildup of sugar in the bloodstream, causing life-threatening conditions including low blood sugar, headache, flu-like symptoms, weight gain when you first start using insulin, lumps, scars or rash at injection site. What is insulin shock? Although insulin is a wonderful drug that helps people with diabetes, it needs to be used very carefully. If a person takes too much insulin, it is possible that the blood sugar level will lower into dangerous levels. This situation is termed an insulin reaction. Too much insulin can result in symptoms that may be mild, moderate or severe depending on how low and how long the low blood sugar level exists in a person's blood. Some signs and symptoms of low blood sugar include fatigue, excessive yawning, mild confusion, decreased coordination, sweating, muscle twitching and pale skin. As these symptoms get progressively worse, seizures, loss of consciousness and even death may occur. People with diabetes, especially type 1 diabetes, are advised to carry about 15 grams of quick-acting carbohydrate at all times. Quick-acting carbohydrates are foods or drinks containing glucose that is rapidly absorbed into the body and the blood. Examples include a half cup of fruit juice or a non-diet soda, 5 small hard candies, 2 tablespoons of raisins, 1 cup of milk or 3 glucose tablets. These carbohydrates may resolve mild to moderate insulin reactions. For severe reactions, a drug called glucagon should be injected under the skin by a family member or friend familiar with treating severe insulin reactions, and the person should be seen by a medical healthcare professional. Now, let us see how this type 1 diabetes will impact our day-to-day life. Type 1 diabetes and diet. People with type 1 diabetes, like everyone else, need to eat a well-balanced diet. This will help their insulin therapy and reduce the chance of diabetic complications. There is no diabetes diet. Even a person with type 1 diabetes can eat sweets as long as it is part of a well-balanced diet. That is not to say that they can eat anything all the time, but they need to consider how sweets can fit into their well-balanced diet. Type 1 diabetics should also consider the fact that carbohydrates rise blood sugar levels faster than any other food. Food low in carbs but high in calcium, potassium, fiber, magnesium and other vitamins are excellent food choices for diabetics. Consider the following guidelines when planning your meals. Eat less unhealthy food, get enough fiber, keep track of carbohydrate consumption, and keep track of carbohydrates in sugar-free foods. Healthcare workers such as dietitians can help people with diabetes plan a well-balanced and varied diet. Type 1 diabetes and exercise. People with type 1 diabetes benefit from exercise, but they need to take precautions to prevent sudden drops in blood glucose levels. Diabetics should check their blood sugars before exercising and may require eating a snack before or during exercise. They may need to adjust their insulin dosage before exercising to ensure that they stay within the normal ranges of blood glucose. People with type 1 diabetes may also need to check their urine for ketones. Ketones suggest that your blood sugar is too high. Strenuous activity needs to be avoided if ketones are detected, or if your blood sugar level is either high or low before exercise. Type 1 diabetes and pregnancy. Women with type 1 diabetes need to let their doctors know if they plan to become pregnant. Poor control of the blood sugar may cause complications such as birth defects. Planning ahead, even before conception, to control blood sugar levels can lower the risk of miscarriage and birth defects. During pregnancy, it is important to test blood glucose often and keep your A1C level below 7%. Good blood sugar control can reduce other complications during pregnancy. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share this video and do subscribe to this channel for more interesting updates.